Hi, this is the PC Expert Amateur, and we're going to look at another NZXT fan right now. It's the F120 RGB. Now, I don't really know what the exact difference is between the RGB core and the RGB. Suffice it to say that their specifications are a bit different. And here's the big old box because I got a 3-pack, which includes that controller. Fortunately for me, I had that controller because I could test the RGB core and discover that the LEDs were defective. I also unfortunately discovered that one of the 3 fans in this set has defective LEDs. It's not being registered, or sorry, when I don't use NZXT cam, I cannot get my the LEDs on these 3 fans to work correctly. And if I do use cam, it does not recognize one of the fans. The other 2 fans are fine, but the one fan, I've tried all 3 ports on the controller, and it doesn't matter which one of them it is, the LEDs do not behave normally. And let me just show you an example of what I'm saying. So this is the one that's damaged. That's the mermaid color, I believe. And these are the other 2. And they're both the purple that they're supposed to be. Now, I can go into NZT Cam and I can change that. That's supposed to be NZXT's purple. And now it's on red alert. But you can see that the broken one is doing nothing. And you can also, I'll show you later, but you'll be able to see later that the 3rd fan, which is currently on port 1, is not listed in NZXT Cam. Then there's vaporware. I don't really know what vaporware is supposed to do. It looks just like a blue, whereas mermaid is kind of the blue-green. Here, I'll show you mermaid. There you go. Now they're all on mermaid. And there's default, which is white. I'm not sure why it's white. It just seems kind of dumb to have both default and white. They're the same thing. And then there's spectrum wave, which is interesting. Kind of weird how it seems to be a bit jerky. But yeah, that's all the options that they give. But then you can go in and you can change an individual fan to what you want it to be. I'm trying to get it to where I want it to be. So that's not the right one. So it's this one. Okay, so you can do alternating. Like, so I'm this one's still on the spectrum wave, and this is stuck on mermaid, and I'm going to put that one down. So, and that one down. I just want to demonstrate to you what you can get in NZXT Cam, even though you've chosen one of the color schemes. You can still go in, and there's a drop down, and you can choose fixed, and then you can it's not really working right. All right, well, I'll have to figure that out later. And then there's I'm doing the wrong one. Silly me. There's wings. And you can change the colors on these. So let's give it green. All right. And you can change the speed. So it's, see how it's, I kind of like that. It's kind of interesting. There are a lot of them. There's gain. And I think that's tied into music being played on the computer. And there's, let's see, breathing. Mindfulness. And then there's fading. And it's not really fading, it's just shifting colors. There's marquee and covering marquee. Pulse, which is just a faster version of breathe. And we already saw a spectrum wave. Alternating, we saw that before. And then Starry Night, which I'm not really impressed with. I think maybe if we had a different color, that might be better. Or maybe if I changed it. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of lame. Let's try blue. Yeah, still sucks. We also have Rainbow Flow. It's still kind of jerky. I don't feel like this is like as smooth as some of the other fans. And then Super Rainbow. So it's a lot more colors on that one, I think. Then there is Rainbow Pulse, which is it's interesting. Candle. I'm not really impressed by that one. And again, you can change the colors on all of these. CPU temperature. Well, my CPU is pretty cold, and it has got a default of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colors, and you can add even more. So this is currently set for from 0 all the way up to 90, greater than 90 degrees. So that's really good. That's better than Corsair iCUE, which doesn't offer you that many options. And then there's the GPU temperature, which, as you can see, is a little bit warmer. And then we've got Wave. Yeah, that's not really doing anything. I guess we can there we go. You can change the color. And you can do more than one of these also. So let's give that one a green. And we'll give that one an orange. So now we've got 3 colors. Whoops, where's the other color? It only shows 2 of the colors. The other one got erased. There we go. So you can customize it with Wave to whatever color sequence you want. And then there's level, sync. I'm going to have to play some music here. So give me a sec. And I'll put the volume on low, hopefully. So it gives you that. So let's try flipping it to sync. And bass. All right. Well, I can't do that because I'm going to get a copyright strike. So anyways, so you can see that the colorations, they have a lot of colors. I'm not terribly excited about the smoothness of the movement of the lights, but aside from that, and then with NZXT Cam, it has PC monitoring, system specifications, lighting, cooling, keyboard, mouse, capture card, monitor, audio, and of course settings. So there are lots of things you can do with this because NZXT is doing their best to force you to stay with their products by having custom connectors. And when I say custom, this really is fully proprietary. Whereas some of the other companies like Leon Lee, there are other companies that are using the same SMJST connectors with the same wiring, such as Fantex and some of the others. But NZXT, they're going their own way. I guess they feel like they're not capturing enough of the market. So personally, I'm not inclined to really be supportive of NZXT. And for fans that cost, I mean, this is a $90 set. So one fan is $30. Okay, that's crazy. If you think about it, the RGB Core has got a $20 price tag, and it's the same number of hours of life, but the specifications are not quite as good. And so, but for this, you're paying $30 a fan. Yeah, that doesn't work for me, I'm afraid. It just seems like I feel bad. I'm glad because I got this on sale for $36, but normal price of $90 for this set is just way out of line with reality. Maybe if they had like a 300,000 hour thing and 6-year guarantee and things like that, and the I don't know, it just isn't impressive. Now, I have just now, before I made this, when I discovered that the lights weren't working correctly, that I went into the NZXT Cam app, and in the settings, there's a function where you can actually submit a request for support. So I have sent that in. Now, this is December 30th, so I don't expect to hear from them for several days at the very least. But I'm hoping I hear from them soon, and they can resolve this problem for me, because, I don't want to have a defective fan, let alone 2 defective fans. So, now, if you can please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share. Now, I don't know why these fans are defective. I don't know if it's because they were open box purchases, or if they came defective and they were returned because they were because they were defective, and then the customers didn't tell Micro Center, which is possible. Some people are afraid of being honest about defective merchandise because they're afraid the store is going to say, nope, sorry, we're not going to take it. So I don't know what happened. All I know is what I bought isn't working right. And so hopefully NZXT will come through for me. We'll see. Okay, a few other tidbits about this. Number one, for the controller, which is vastly overpriced, you're supposed to get a couple of Velcro, so you can attach it to your case. It doesn't have any controller other than the software in NZXT Cam. If you don't use the NZXT Cam, there's no guarantee that the fans will, LEDs will work. Also, the NZXT controller has to be plugged into a spare USB header on your motherboard. So if you don't have one of those 9-pin USB 2.0, I believe, headers, well, guess what? You cannot use the controller for the LEDs for any of the NZXT products that plug into that controller, or any of the controllers with the 9-pin USB connector. And then the NZXT controller is powered by your power supply. So you additionally, this is going to stay inside of your case, of course, so it's going to hide behind the motherboard most likely. But yeah, you've got to plug it into your power supply, you've got to plug it into your motherboard, and you have to use their special software, so that's more bloat. So, I'm not a fan of this. I am opposed to any producer not only taking on proprietary hardware that makes it harder for us to mix and match things, but then to overcharge for that hardware is unforgivable to me. So, yeah, I'm not thrilled with this. And let's see. All right, I guess let's go ahead and listen to the fan right now. And I was going to do it with the lights on, but because of the distance from the controller and from the controller to the USB port and the power supply, there's not enough slack for me to do that. So we'll just do it the way I've been doing with all the other ones. I hope you don't mind. It's usually that way anyways. Okay, so now this should be quieter than the other one. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Okay, there we go. So it's pretty quiet. There's a low hum. And now I can hear that same kind of turbulence, I guess it is. It's an odd sound that I don't often hear, especially at a low level. It's almost like a tiny little bug buzzing near my ear. Wow, that's noisy. I'm I'm surprised it's as loud as it is. Let's compare that to the Noctua now. Now, oops, I'm going to shave all that foam off of that thing. Again, this has got those interesting kind of hole cushion things there that are kind of a mixture of hole and corner cushion, but more corner than hole, I would say. So here's the Noctua coming into play. Anytime now, Noctua. Uh-oh. It's unplugged! Oh no! Hate it when that happens. I wish I had a dedicated space for doing this work, but I don't. So, unfortunate as it is my reality. Ooh. All right. Stop doing that. I do not need any more. Ah! That's my bad my finger with the owie. And all right, here we go. This time for real. I'd say the Noctua is quieter, actually. Although the pitch, the high-end pitch, is pretty loud, but overall it's quieter. Because when I listen to the two of them at the same time, it's louder. And as with the core, the bearings don't take very long to stop the fan. So yeah, just one more criticism of NZXT's overpriced products is that they don't use good bearings. They don't give a nice big warranty because they know that their product is not actually worth what they're charging. I am not a fan of this. So, that is... What do you think of that? I mean, how do you feel? If you were going to pay $90, got a defective fan, you found out the RGB controller has to be configured in a completely different way than most other RGB controllers, in that you have to plug it into the power supply, you have to plug it into a spare USB header on the motherboard, you have to use proprietary software, and then you don't even get a fan that lasts a long time because the bearings have too much friction on them, or in them, I guess would be more accurate. What do you think about that? I mean, what are your thoughts? Maybe someday, NZXT will see your comments in my video, and they'll say, you know what, we probably should do a better job, because, I don't really see that being locked into their ecosystem, because everything has to go through this. Yet they have other ecosystems that are incompatible. So it's kind of a catch-22. You have to use our ecosystem, but some of the stuff that you may have previously purchased will not work with this ecosystem. So yeah, you'll have to have another controller, I guess. It just doesn't seem to me to be very considerate of customers, and not very well thought out if you keep on switching ecosystems and splitting up customers, because customers only have so much patience for this kind of a behavior, and eventually they're like, you know what, I bought this product and now I can't use it because you changed your ecosystem. Corsair did the same thing on some of their products. And so, you know what? I don't want to be your customer anymore because you guys can't even be consistent about which ecosystem you want to use. And you're forcing me to either switch to a different company or to continue to buy stuff that isn't compatible with older stuff, and so on and so forth. So, state your opinions at the bottom. I really want to know how you feel about it. I know how I feel about it, and now you do too, but I want to know what your thoughts are. Let's go ahead and take a look at the data. All right, so the NZXT F120 RGB white fan, or the RF-R12TF-W1. And it's got a white and translucent white frame for the lights, and then the blades themselves, and the whole blade thing is solid white. And again, I paid $36 for the 3-pack, because this is a 3-pack. You don't get the controller with a 1-pack. I believe you might get it with the Duo. Let's just take a quick peek here. Go switch up to the Duo. Nope, the Duo does not come with it. So you can buy a controller for $35. That's stupid. I'm sorry. That's, you know, I realize you've made it proprietary, but jacking up the price because you've decided to make yourself separate from the rest of the market doesn't mean that you should be raising the price of what is essentially a very inexpensive product. So it has several certifications: CE, FCC, UKCA, ROHS, Underwriter Laboratories, and there was a Chinese certificate. I'm pretty sure that one's Chinese, but again, I'm not entirely sure. So if somebody knows what these are on these products that have the Chinese stuff, can you please let me know? It's made in China, 120 by 120 by 26 millimeters, so it's a little bit thicker than the normal ones. 60,000 hours, 2-year warranty versus the 150,000 hours minimum and 6-year warranty of the Noctua NF-A12 by 25. And gosh, I totally forgot that I forgot to do something. All right, well, it's got 18 ARGB LEDs in each ring, but it's only compatible with NZXT, so you cannot use MSI, ASRock, or Asus or Gigabyte or any of the other companies' software. 190 grams versus the 200 of the Noctua. 7 blades versus the 9. Standard mounting hole distance, 500 to 1800 RPMs versus the Noctua's 450 to 2000. And a variance of 300 RPM. So that's more than 10%. That's like not 20%, but you know, it's like 15%, I think. And if that's if the variance is going to be 800, you know, plus 300, then that's 800 minimum, or 200 minimum, somewhere between 200 and 800 minimum, and 1500 and 2100 maximum. So that's a pretty, yeah, I'm not really excited about that. Minimum airflow of 13.94 CFM and maximum of 50.18 cubic feet per minute. The static pressure is a minimum of 0.75 and a maximum of 2.7 millimeters of water, and that's just a little. Wait, so if we look at the line above, that's the RGB core. So the RGB core has better airflow and worse static pressure, but not a huge difference. There's not a big difference between these two fans except for the variance of the regular RGB one. And the minimum noise is 17.2, maximum is 27.5. So it's a quieter fan than the core. Huh. And the cable is 61 for the fan and 59 centimeters for the ARGB. Neither of them can daisy chain or are sleeved. And it's a PWM connector plus the NZXT 4-pin JST connector, fluid dynamic bearing, 12 volts, 2.16 watts, 0.18 amps. 5-volt LEDs, but we don't get any of the information. No rotation and flow indicators. It's a clockwise rotating fan. 4 screws and corner cushions, and you get the hub. Now, this is just a very basic hub. So you're paying $30+ for a hub that doesn't even allow you to have direct control through a remote. Wow. I'm underwhelmed, thoroughly underwhelmed. That's all there is.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.